What's up, Steelers fans? Welcome back to the channel, your #1 spot for all things black and gold. Before we dive into today's hot topic, let's address the elephant in the room. It's been a rough stretch. But hey, this team is all about grit, growth, and bouncing back. Every struggle is an opportunity to improve, and that's exactly what the Steelers are focused on as they push through this late-season adversity. If you're here for honest analysis and passionate Steelers talk, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and let's build this incredible community of die-hard fans. Now, let's talk about what's happening with our beloved team. Steelers fans, it's tough to say, but history has a way of repeating itself. Not since 1988 have we seen our team drop 3 consecutive games by at least 14 points. That year, the Steelers went 5-11 in what was one of the franchise's darkest seasons. Fast forward to 2024, and here we are again. Losses to the Eagles, 27-13, Ravens, 34-17, and now the Chiefs, 29-10, have left Steelers Nation reeling. These aren't just losses. They're resounding defeats that highlight the gap between us and the NFL's elite. What's even more alarming? The combined record of those 3 teams heading into this stretch was 38. We knew this was going to be a gauntlet, but being outscored 90-40 was not what anyone expected. Does this string of losses feel like 1988 to you, or do you believe this team has what it takes to bounce back? Let us know in the comments. While the team has struggled, Najee Harris continues to prove why he's one of the most reliable running backs in the NFL. In Wednesday's game against the Chiefs, Harris surpassed the 1,000-yard rushing mark for the 4th consecutive season. Let's break it down. Consistency. Harris has hit 1,000 yards every year since entering the league in 2021. Durability. He hasn't missed a single game due to injury. That's 66 games played since being drafted. Legacy. Harris now ranks 5th in the AFC in rushing yards this season and remains a cornerstone of the Steelers' offense. But here's the catch. Despite his durability and production, the Steelers chose not to pick up his 5th-year option last offseason. GM Omar Khan called it a business decision, and Harris admitted it stung. So here's the big question. Should the Steelers offer Harris a long-term deal after this season, or is it time to move in a different direction? Drop your takes below. As it stands, the Steelers are no longer in control of their destiny in the AFC North. If the Baltimore Ravens win out, we're looking at a wild card spot instead of a division title. Here's the breakdown. If the Ravens win their Week 17 matchup against the Texans, the Steelers will drop to 2nd place in the division. A win over the Bengals in Week 18 could still clinch the AFC North for Pittsburgh, but only if Baltimore stumbles. A loss to Cincinnati, however, could send us to Baltimore or Houston for a wild card game. It's a precarious position, and let's be real. Heading into the playoffs on the heels of a historic late-season collapse is not ideal. What's your confidence level heading into Week 18? Can the Steelers right the ship and make a deep playoff run? Sound off in the comments. One of the harshest realities of this season is the growing evidence that the Steelers aren't quite in the same league as the NFL's top teams. Losses to the Eagles, Ravens, and Chiefs highlight fundamental issues. Offensive struggles. Russell Wilson's play has been inconsistent, and the offensive line hasn't provided the protection or push needed to dominate games. Defensive gaps. The loss of Joey Porter Jr. and other key injuries have left the secondary vulnerable, especially against elite quarterbacks like Patrick Mahomes. Coaching questions. Mike Tomlin has been a rock for this franchise, but even he must face scrutiny as the team falters in critical moments. This raises a tough but necessary question. Are the Steelers truly built to compete with the league's elite, or is it time for a deeper overhaul? Let's start with the positives, because no matter how rough a game might be, there are always players who stand out and fight for every yard, every tackle, and every chance to make an impact. 1. Jaylen Warren. The rising star Steelers fans, it's time to admit that Jaylen Warren might just be the best running back on this roster. He's quick, explosive, and dependable. Against the Chiefs, Warren averaged an impressive 6.5 yards per carry. Whether it was powering through tackles or making plays in the receiving game, he proved that he deserves more snaps moving forward. What do you think? Should Warren officially take over as the lead back? Is it time to pass the torch from Najee Harris? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. George Pickens, a game changer. The offense felt his absence during his 3-game injury stint, and on Christmas Day, George Pickens reminded us why he's the future of this receiving corps. A 41-yard catch in the first quarter showcased his ability to create explosive plays. Sure, his emotions were on full display during the game, but isn't that what we love about Steelers players? The passion, the fire, it's all part of what makes Pickens special. What's your take on Pickens? Should the Steelers make him the focal point of the offense in 2025-3? Cameron Hayward, a timeless warrior at 35 years old, Cam Hayward is still the heart and soul of this defense. He was everywhere against the Chiefs, constantly disrupting plays and showing why he's one of the most respected veterans in the league. Even though he went down with an injury in the fourth quarter, his quick return shows his grit and determination. Steelers Nation, how much longer do you think Hayward can anchor this defense? Mark Robinson, a special teams standout mark. Robinson may not see much time on defense, but his special teams play has been phenomenal. A forced fumble on a punt showed his hustle and tenacity, even if the Steelers couldn't recover it. The naughty list, areas that need immediate improvement. Now for the tougher conversation. Where did things go wrong? Let's break down the areas that cost the Steelers in this critical matchup. First quarter offense, a nightmare. Start 2 quick 3-and-outs, followed by a red zone interception. That's how the Steelers began their Christmas Day game. Before fans could finish their eggnog, the team was already in a 13-0 hole. Why does the first quarter offense continue to struggle? Is it play calling, execution, or both? Let's hear your theories. The defensive secondary, Mahomes had a feast. Without Joey Porter Jr., the secondary looked lost. Patrick Mahomes took full advantage, slicing through the defense with ease. While you expect Mahomes to be great, this performance was a wake-up call for the Steelers' pass defense. How can Pittsburgh improve the secondary heading into the playoffs? Should they consider changes in the coaching staff? Pass protection, Russell Wilson. Under siege, Russell Wilson spent most of the game running for his life. With the Chiefs missing Chris Jones, the expectation was for the offensive line to hold up better. Instead, Wilson was sacked multiple times and forced to scramble far too often. What changes would you make to the offensive line in the offseason? Najee Harris, running out of chances. It's hard to ignore Najee Harris's struggles this season. While he managed a few solid runs late in the game, his lack of explosiveness compared to Warren was glaring. Steelers fans, is this the end of the road for Harris in Pittsburgh? Or do you think he can still bounce back? 5. Arthur Smith and Terrell Austin. Coaching under fire, offensive play calling under Arthur Smith, and defensive schemes by Terrell Austin have both come under heavy scrutiny. The Chiefs were ready for everything Pittsburgh threw at them, while the Steelers seemed unprepared. Do you think coaching changes are necessary, or is this just a tough stretch? Looking ahead, playoff hopes on the line. The AFC North title is still technically within reach, but the Steelers need help. If the Ravens win out, Pittsburgh will be looking at a wild card spot and an uphill battle in the postseason. Week 18 against the Bengals is a must-win game. It's time for the Steelers to rally, fix their mistakes, and show the league what they're made of. Steelers fans, your passion and loyalty are what make this franchise special. The road ahead won't be easy, but this is when the team needs us the most. Acrisure Stadium has always been one of the toughest places for opponents to play, and we need to keep that energy alive. Here's what we want to know from you. Do you think the Steelers can bounce back and make noise in the playoffs? Is Najee Harris the future of our backfield, or is it time to turn the page? What changes would you like to see heading into 2025? Your voice matters, Steelers Nation. Let's show the world why we're the most passionate fan base in the NFL. This season has tested us in ways we didn't expect, but the story isn't over yet. There's still time to turn things around, and as long as there's football to be played, the Pittsburgh Steelers will fight to the very end. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more honest, passionate Steelers content, do us a favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with your fellow fans. Together, we'll get through this and come out stronger on the other side. As always, Steelers Nation, here we go. Let's finish the season with heart, determination, and pride.